Let's welcome Misko to our event, everyone. So today is kind of a cool day. We're celebrating, the community. We're doing an event, and Misko's 49th birthday is today. So 49th, right?
39, dude.
39. Okay. Sometimes your sense of humor, it just feels a little bit more mature, bro. I never know. Okay.
Bad enough it's 39, man. You don't have to add another 10 years.
All right. Well, if you keep building Angular, you might age an extra couple 10. So, okay. So we're going to sing Happy Birthday to Misko, and I'm going to pan this so he can see everybody. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, that was pathetic.
Thank you.
Pathetic.
Most kind.
I think Joe's going to do a solo.
Okay, that was seriously pathetic. This guy created Angular. We're singing happy birthday to him like he died. We're going to do this again. I'm going to lead like I know what I'm doing, which is not true. Okay, and we're going to sing loud and awesome and happy because this is freaking Misko. Sorry, this is Misko's freaking awesome 39th birthday. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Misko. Happy birthday to you. That was better.
Way better.
The most number of people that ever sing happy birthday to me, so thank you.
That's awesome. Okay. So we've invited people to come up and ask you questions. Do you think you could answer a couple?
Sure.
Yeah, you got a few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have anything they want to ask? Joe, feel free to be the first guy.
What's the release date for Angular 2?
It's a good question. I'd like to know too. Okay. Once I find out, you'll be the first one to know.
Joe, you're the first guy to know. Woo! That's a prize we didn't know we were giving away. That's cool. All right, I'm going to ask you guys to queue up the questions here. Not all of them at the same time, though. Yeah. All right, we got another question coming. Here you go.
I keep forgetting that I'm wearing a name tag. It freaks me out every time somebody knows my name. So one of the things that a lot of JavaScript devs, I think, have a hard time with is just the velocity of change, right? We're always having new frameworks come out. So when Angular came out, of course, everybody was like, oh, great, another framework. We need that like we need a hole in our head. Ended up being great, but when you were creating Angular or starting that process, what pushed you towards creating another framework instead of contributing to what's already there?
So the question is, why exactly Angular 2 is not backwards compatible, really, I think what you're asking. Because, unfortunately, to fix some of the wrongs in Angular 2, you have to do semantic breakages that it's not possible to do it backwards. That's one thing. The other thing is, it's hard enough building a framework as it is, figuring out how to make the new framework you want, and at the same time have backwards compatibility. That is something that I don't even know how to do. So the current strategy is basically, build the best framework we can, and then figure out, okay, how do we get, now that we know what the destination is, how do we get from Angular 1 to Angular 2 in a bunch of easy steps so that our developers can come along with us. And we'll once we have all these pieces in place, we will provide lots of stepping stones for you guys so that you'll have easy time coming in. But I think that the semantic changes we're making to Angular 2 are beneficial enough that they will certainly justify these breaking changes, whether it's in terms of the performance or being able to use web components or cleaning up many of the APIs or choices of languages you have. I think all of those might seem like a small win individually, but like when you put them together, I think it's going to be a pretty big impact.
Question. Thank you. Who else has got a question? Here we got a couple coming up. 1 second. Mr. Kevin Nielsen.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to lighten things up a little bit and ask you maybe if you can tell us about your favorite birthday and what year was it and what did you do?
My favorite birthday?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was in 1976 when I was born. Like, how can we name it? The second most favorite birthday, I think it has to be now, because like I never had so many people sing to me.
So when you were born or today?
Well, this one has to be the second favorite, man. Come on, like
Today's your second
four
favorite.
ropes. Anything else, right?
All right. Fair question. Yeah, come on. I have an extra chair up here if you want to come sit down and ask a question.
Hi, Misko. How you doing? Happy birthday. I don't know much about how Angular is developed in collaboration with other teams and other frameworks teams. I use it. I haven't dug deep enough to find out. I'm just curious, when you came up with a new version, with the new branches of Angular and Angular 2, who was involved in collaborating? What kind of feedback were you getting from the community at large? And I'm just curious.
So I'm actually not catching most of this question. I'm sorry.
So I'll repeat it. That's good. He wants to know who you collaborated with on coming up with the ideas for Angular 2. He kind of sees it from the outside. He's interested to find out where you guys got your feedback when you made your design decisions.
It's a good question. So the collaborations, there are many. We posting in a public forum, and we get a lot of people commenting on the public forum. We have internal customers at Google who are using us, and so we're trying to satisfy them as well. We're also working very closely with Ionic, with their Ionic 2, which is going to be running on top of Angular 2. We get lots of feedback from them. Also with Telerik, which is working on a native script, and they just announced they're going to be building on top of Angular. So these are all different kind of customers that have different kinds of needs. And we get lots of interesting feedback from them that we incorporate in there. We take all this feedback. We're trying to be as open source as possible. We push it to design docs, which are available publicly. We push it to issues on GitHub, where we oftentimes get very long, opinionated conversations. But it's all good. So those are kind of the people, and you can kind of see it publicly. That's kind of our goal.
Cool. Thanks. Any other questions? We got another question coming up. He's going to get water. Yeah, come over. So who's your favorite team member with a beard on your team?
Well, are you referring to yourself or? Okay, that's what I was kind of not clear on. The only other person who has a beard is Jeff. You guys can be beard buddies.
So my question is, why aren't you here?
How come I'm not there? Because I'm working hard to make sure Angular 2 is going to happen soon. So I can stop having people ask me when is it going to be done, because I'm really tired of that question.
So are you just avoiding the question then?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Am I avoiding the question? No. What do you mean? I'm working hard on Angular 2.
All right, that's fair. Any other inappropriate questions? Anything that could make him sweat? Oh, someone raised their hand when I said that. Hopefully this is good. Yeah, I'm going to have you stand here so that he can hear you better. Come stand here.
What's your favorite text editor
And more importantly, what's your least favorite text editor?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a tough one. Currently, I use WebStorm the most often, and I'm going to make a lot of enemies now. My least favorite one is VI because I'm philosophically opposed to the concept of nodes.
Oh my word. So to recap, WebStorm best, VI worst.
I didn't say that. That's,
No.
that's what I currently use.
That's what I heard. That's what the tweet's gonna say when I tweet it. So okay, that's a good question. Anything controversial like that would be good. No, nothing. Yeah, we got controversy walking up the lane right now. It's kind of cool. Never mind. It's tame. Go ahead, come stand right here and ask him.
Hey, I'm Mark, and I'm just curious. Nice to meet you. Could you compare and contrast Polymer with Angular 2 a bit? I've kind of been reading a lot about both, but I'm not really sure how they're going to work together or compete against one another, knowing that they're both coming from Google. Yeah, anything you could talk about on that subject would be great.
You want me to compare Polymer and Angular 2? Okay. So Polymer and Angular 2 are complementary. Polymer provides great sets of widgets. It's based on standards like web components. A lot of time spent on Polymer is on bringing polyfills of these web components into the open so that other people can use it. A lot of it is actually done as a polyfill, saying like, let's experiment a little bit and then take this information back to the standard. So it's kind of a test project where ideas get tested out and polyfills get built to see how we can bring the browsers forward. Now, Polymer does go a little bit into area of web frameworks, but it's very rudimentary in that sense because that's not its goal, right? It's the purpose of Polymer is not to be a web framework; it's to be these polyfills on top of web standards to bring the browsers forward. Angular, on the other hand, is all about being a web framework. So we have things like dependency injection. We take composition differently, point of view, and so on. And we also want to make sure in Angular 2 that the two of them play very well together. And so many of the changes we have actually done to Angular 2 is specifically so the web components can be consumed in Angular 2, both through shadow DOMs and also just using them. And because Polymer is built on top of web components, we can consume Polymer. Notice, I'm not saying we're making it Angular 2 compatible with Polymer. I'm saying we're making Angular 2 compatible with web components. And as a result, anybody who's using web components, not just Polymer, like for example, Bricks is another project, can automatically be used from within Angular. So
That was an acceptable answer.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Daniel, come on, man. So is it weird to you when the Polymer team says you don't need a web framework?
Say again?
Is that weird to you when the Polymer team tells us that we don't need web frameworks?
I don't think they say that. I think they're building components and they're trying to make web components a thing. I don't think anybody's suggesting that you don't need web frameworks.
I think they are. But I'm gonna start a tweet war, and we can see what comes out of it. Is that cool?
How about we just all get along, man?
Okay.
Okay, then you're not going to like my questions. First of all, happy birthday. Okay, so my question's to not get along. I'd love to hear the scathing reviews of other frameworks, such as your opinion on like Ember, Backbone, etc. That's the inappropriate question when that was being asked. And I guess the other inappropriate question would be, whatever happened to Adam Abrams? He called himself the illegitimate stepdad of Angular.
So I heard that you want me to compare other frameworks, but I missed the other part.
The other part was what happened to Adam Abrams, the stepfather of Angular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't think I'm qualified to comment on the other frameworks because I actually don't know much about them. I've never built an app in the other frameworks, and so as a result, like I have no idea in terms of how they compare. So I'm sorry, I just have no idea in terms of like how you
Dodge the question.
answer a question like that if you haven't actually built something inside of it. As far as Adam Abrams, I believe he's at Square doing wonderful things. I do speak to him from time to time. I'm not quite sure. I mean, his interests, I guess, are in the building, making the payments a better place, which frankly really needs to be done.
Cool. Come on, man.
Hey, my name is Sam. I guess I just wanted to know, what are you most excited about with Angular 2? And if it's a different answer, what are you most excited building for Angular 2?
What am I most excited about Angular 2? Ah, gosh, I am excited about all of the pieces. It's like asking which of your child is your favorite.
Do you have a favorite child?
No, they're all my equally favorite,
Okay.
man. I always tell my kids, you're my favorite Adam and you're my favorite Eric. I'm excited about the performance improvements we've done. I'm also excited about the mental model. We were able to simplify a lot of things in Angular 2. There's a lot of different things that are just kind of coming together. You know, I always kind of felt like about Angular 1, like there's all these mess ups we have done in Angular 1, and I was always freaked out that one day people will figure it out. And so this is Angular 2 is kind of our way of fixing all the mess ups we've done in Angular 1. And so all of these things we're actually very proud of and very excited about. I think you guys are going to really like it once all the pieces come together.
So can you talk to us about the mess ups you're excited about correcting?
The mess ups. They're not exactly mess ups. They're more like, you know, things that were not obvious back in the day. So for example, in Angular 1x, it is the component author that decides what the semantics are, whereas it should be the template author that decides the semantics. Like it looks very innocent at first, but has a lot of interesting implications. In Angular 1, you know, sometimes you use dependency injection, and other places things are just positional. Like for example, directives. The directive definition object kind of grew over time, and it became this multi-headed monster kind of a thing, right? And those are all examples of where, if we had some foresight, you know, in retrospect, everything's 2020, right? We could have maybe done a better job on, but having had that, like we are trying to correct for them in Angular 2 and then build up some nice rank for you guys to be able to join us here.
Cool. So John Lindquist is here. I'm going to tell him real quick. Misko says WebStorm's the best text editor. Yeah, oh. And he comes bearing gifts. He's got an inappropriate question for you.
So Misko, say I have a really embarrassing and inappropriate GIF of Igor. Is now a good time to share it?
No, we're not sharing
okay, just checking.
things of our friends.
Later then, on Twitter? Okay, he says tweet it, bro.
Hi, I'm Carlos. Nice to meet you. A lot of people still uses nowadays Python 2.7 versus 3.0 because it's not backwards compatible. How are you thinking about mitigating this problem and getting all of us to use 2.0 versus just keep ourselves in the safe zone of not switching from 1.3 or 4 to 2.0?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, man?
Okay, sorry. I'll ask it. Sorry, man. So a lot of people are on Python 2.x still because the upgrade to 3.x was so extreme. So what's your guys' thoughts or plans around getting all of us in 1.xville up to 2.xville? Talk about that.
You know, I don't think the goal should be to convert everybody. I mean, if you have an app that is perfectly working just fine in Angular 1x and, you know, it's being maintained just fine, we will be maintaining 1x for foreseeable future. I mean, I don't know when the cutover is going to happen. So it doesn't mean that we have to convert everybody over, right? What we do need to do is provide a very exciting path with lots of stepping stones so that people have interest in changing. So if you have an actively developed project, you can look in there and say, hey, what are some of the exciting features I can get going there? Now, I don't know anything about Python, so it's hard for me to speak on that, but I'm guessing that perhaps the delta in benefits between the two was not sufficiently large for people to jump. I'm speculating. I could be completely crazy here. But I think the deltas between Angular 1x and Angular 2 are going to be sufficiently large that there will be significant benefits, mainly in terms of performance, size, cognitive load, tooling available, that we will have lots of carrots, hopefully, to invite people over. I think I'm getting kicked out of the room, so I think we should wrap it up.
You wrap it up? So one request, you said it's going to be an exciting migration path. I would appreciate a more boring migration path. Something a little less exciting sounds way better to me.
That is not what I meant when I said the word exciting. But
I don't really want an exciting upgrade path. I just kind of want something boring.
Okay, we'll make a very, very boring path.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, let's give thanks to Igor, or Misko, my bad.
And thank you again for happy birthday and everything. So thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks, man. See ya.
Bye.
All right, so we have we're gonna do a we have a few moments right now where we're gonna hear from our premier sponsor, Wrangle. They're gonna come up and talk to us about who they are and how they can help and how they have helped the Angular community. So I'm gonna turn it back over to Nick.
Hey everyone, it's me again. Now I'm here as Wrangle IO's CEO. We're one of the sponsors here. It's the third Angular conference that we've been a sponsor at. We were a sponsor for the first one last year, and then NGConf this year, and then here again. And it's been an amazing experience. We were actually founded as an Angular shop. We were so excited about Angular. I started the company a couple of years ago as an Angular dev, and we've been growing since then. We specialize in working with any kind of a company, startups, enterprises, from our Toronto office. Toronto has a great development community. We have over 30 Angular devs working together, co-located with our design team, our Scrum Masters, our quality assurance teams, and we work with all kinds of different clients in a continuous delivery mode where we work in an agile manner and we deliver software frequently, and that simplifies the communication between our team and our customers, and it's proven to be a really good working model. So it's great to be here. Thanks to all of you for coming out. And if you have any questions about Wrangle, we have the big red booth outside. Be happy to chat and hear more about what you guys are doing with Angular. So, thanks.
Thank you so much. And as an organizer, I wanted to thank you. I don't know if you guys realize how important your contribution was to making this event happen. So thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Round of applause for Wrangle, everybody. Okay. So in that, I heard a lot of questions about Angular 2, and we all have this underlying concern of migration between 1.x and 2.x. Like, we all have it. We all know that we all share that concern. So we're going to do a 30-minute break, and then after we come back, we're going to have a talk that kind of talks to us and addresses some of those concerns and gives us some ideas on how we can, approach that upgrade process that we're all, inevitably going to face. So let's do a 30-minute break. We're going to be back here in 30, and then we'll kick it off with our next talk by Chris. So see you guys back here in 30.